There we go. All right. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. My name is Joey Calvo. Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. And I'm going to start with something I normally don't do. Well, I do, but this one's special and I'm going to explain why in a moment. So I'm going to do a hello to Lloyd Lindsay Young, a legendary meteorologist. He is now retired, or he's been retired, and he came on my personal friends list a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to dedicate that hello to him because for those that live in Jersey and New York metropolitan area, back in the 80s and 90s, he was the meteorologist at WWOR TV, Channel 9. And he was always with science and all these other little fun, interesting things. But the hello was his typical welcome. And you couldn't get away from it. You couldn't. I mean, he made weather enjoyable. He put the fun in it. And when I was posted about his YouTube channel, which I'm going to promote later on, I said legendary meteorologist, and I said no, it's not Dr. Frank Field or Stormfield, who also worked at Channel 9 as well as Channel 3. But Lloyd Lindsay Young was the best. I mean, he made it interesting. I mean, here in Philadelphia, there is no one like him. There is no one. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are beautiful meteorologists, and we got Nor'easter Nick. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nick. You're great as well. But Lloyd is a legend, and this was not how I was going to start this, but I am. But special shout out to Lloyd Lindsay Young, and excuse me, I had a potato chip a minute ago. So I wanted to give a special shout out to him, and Lloyd, thank you for all the great years you did back in the East Coast. We do miss you out here. You are truly legendary. So it is Memorial Day 2021. And thank you. First of all, I really need to thank all the fallen heroes who served our country, even those who are current. So definitely thank you for all your service. It doesn't matter if you served or are serving. Veterans, thank you for everything you do. So it is Memorial Day 2021, like I said. And, we shouted out to the fallen heroes and current service people. You also sometimes you got to add first responders to that, because some of those that served or are serving, even in the National Guards and stuff, are police officers, paramedics, EMTs, doctors, nurses, all on the front line, even through this COVID. So as you can see, we are now on StreamYard. So we're able to broadcast live on YouTube now. So I'm very happy about this. And definitely trying to get some more guests on the podcast. If you, now there was some time that I haven't been on because of issues with Zoom. And when I did Zoom, it made the YouTube feed private. No, I can't do that. So StreamYard, let's see how this works. And it did show that I could make this public, so it is public, so everybody can see this. So definitely StreamYard is going to be hopefully something well to work with. And we'll be able to have guests on the podcast, and hopefully I'll learn how to invite them to come on here, and then we can do live podcasts so everybody can watch them. So if this is the first time that you're watching the podcast, my name is Joey Calvo. I've been doing this for 2 years now. And we also, as I'm doing this now live on YouTube, it is being recorded on anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo. So you'll be able to listen to all the podcasts. I've had great guests on here, and I'm going to continue to promote them the best way possible. I had Lisa Ellery, who's a classmate of mine who did a book on sociology. Sabrina Brocker Little, another classmate of mine who has a very best-selling novel on Amazon. Katie Fellinger, who's former Channel 3 meteorologist here in Philadelphia. She wrote a book called My Happy Place. That you can find on Amazon.com as well. A great supermodel, as much as she doesn't like to say supermodel, but Carol Alt. Thank you as well for being on here. And you definitely got to check out carolalt.com for recipes. She had mentioned to me at one time that raw food saved her life. So when I can get a better location, I will say, I'm definitely looking into it. I mean, I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to fully go vegan. I can't guarantee myself on that. It is going to be hard, but I'm going to try. Excuse me. But, and then we had Eric Essex, great smooth jazz guitarist, who came out with a great song called Late Night Drive. It's off his latest CD. Hold on one moment. Okay. His latest CD is called Songs from the Deep. There we go. And as you can tell, he autographed it for me. And I thank you again so much for that. You can check him out at Eric Essex, and that's ERR. Let me try again. Here, I'll do it this way. It's his name.net. So it's there we go. ERICESSIX.net. Okay. Now we got that right. Sorry, Eric. And we just had Dina Rizzo, who just started, who introduced a vegan line about a week or two ago. And you can find her at www.healing.humanity.org. And you can check out the new line that just came out on her website, as well as her services. Great person, very beautiful, I will say it. But definitely check that out. Now, also, guests I would love to have come on this podcast. I know I'm jumping off of what I put in the description, but I'm going to get to that too. Guests that I would love to come on. I'd love to have Eric Essex come back on again when he's getting ready to come to Philly. He's a great smooth jazz guitarist. The song I play nonstop. And when we did the podcast, that was the first thing I did was play the song in full blast. I mean, it was that good. So definitely check him out. Lloyd Lindsay Young, definitely want him on my podcast. Definitely. I mean, you really got to know the man. You really got to know him. I mean, it's more than just that, hello. I mean, there's more to him than meets the eye. I mean, there really is. Nor'easter Nick, he's the meteorologist in South Jersey. He's with New Jersey News Network. And oh my God, I feel so bad. Kimberly Kravitz. I keep forgetting every time. This beautiful young lady, I keep forgetting to mention how great she is. She came on the podcast, even for a few minutes, and we were talking about COVID-19. And sadly enough, she did catch it. She was diagnosed with COVID-19, but she is back, better than ever, and living life again, and that's awesome. So, Kimberly, you're welcome on this podcast anytime you want. And I've tried to invite her sister, Ashley. She's a nutrition specialist. I did have a nutrition specialist before as well, Stacy Veneman, who is in South Jersey, and that's another great podcast. So you got to go to anchor.fm and you got to listen to all the podcasts. Okay, you got to check out all the podcasts. It's on anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo. And now I need a sheet of paper. So bear with me one moment here. All right. Anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo. That is the website to go to listen to all the podcasts. It is also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio. There's like 9 or 10 platforms. There's 10 platforms we're on. Spotify, Anchor.fm, like I said, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Definitely got to check those out. Cornelius Grimm Whitaker, another great, awesome dude. We went to school together. He came out with a film last year called Lit, and that podcast lit up this one. That podcast we did was lit, extravagantly funny too. It was too lit. So now to the point where the fun really begins and the excitement announcements, I can consider them. One, over the past couple weeks, I started a merchandise website. Just bear with me one moment because I have to. So I found this website and I was able to sell merchandise. So this is an awesome website to do. And so here's the website. Again, pardon the grease stains. It's shop.spreadshirt.com/life-with-Joey-Calvo. And there's 2 versions of the shop in there. One is, well, actually, they're both the same. It's just the only difference between the 2 is below the logo is the actual website for the podcast. So that's the only difference between the 2. But there's mouse pads, mugs, shirts, hoodies, everything almost anything can be found on those websites, on that website. So definitely check that out. So it's shop.spreadshirt.com/life-with-joey-calvo. All right. We also have a website that you can check everything else out on, and that's lifewithjoeycalvo.blog. So it's this podcast with lifewithjoeycalvo.blog. And you'll find all the podcasts that were done, separate little blogs I've done on my own, and promoting others, like I mentioned, like Carol All, Eric Essex, even Kathy Ireland, another guest I'd love to have on this podcast. But definitely check out the website there as well. And you'll see blogs that I put in. And of course, every podcast I do also goes right onto the website as well. You can follow us on Instagram at Life with Joey Calvo. You can follow us at Twitter at Life Calvo. That's capital L for Life, capital C for Calvo. These podcasts automatically go right into the Twitter feed as well. So July is coming up so quick. Tomorrow is June 1st already. Summer's coming up. A lot of action going on here in Philadelphia. The Wawa Welcome America. I haven't seen dates yet. I've been getting emails that it's coming. We don't know if I don't know if it's going to be virtual this year like it was last year, or now with the COVID mandates being lifted, New Jersey, Governor Murphy, go for it. And he did say the mask mandates may come back if cases start to rise. So if you're not vaccinated, put on a mask. I do, even though I'm on a COVID-19 vaccine research study, I still wear a mask. Well, here in Philadelphia, you have to wear a mask at least until the end of June so far. But definitely, if you're not vaccinated, wear a mask. In all seriousness, wear a mask, because it not just prevents you, it prevents others, okay, and keeps everybody healthy. And those that were lost to COVID-19, my condolences on your loss. I know it's hard. I had personal people in my life that had COVID. I mentioned Kimberly Kravitz, and I'm glad she's healthy again. Her family's healthy again, and back to work and moving forward. And those that pass, like I said, my condolences. COVID does hit hard, believe it or not, one way or another. It really hits hard. I got sick in February and March, but I just thank the Lord that I didn't have COVID. I wound up having what was called GERD, and mixed with the sleep apnea and the asthma that I'm diagnosed with, it practically took my voice for most of the month of March. So I lost time. I couldn't even do a podcast because of it. And then, I have to go back to the guests. Coach Scott Field. Oh, yeah, Coach Scott Fields. He hosts a podcast called The Coach Scott Fields Show. And he just had surgery on his foot done. And he had a little setback. But get well soon. If you see this video, Coach Scott, Hopefully you'll be happy. Hopefully you'll come back on this podcast again. We talked basketball. We actually did a podcast. Like you said, you got to go to the anchor.fm/ with Joey Calvo website to check all these podcasts. But when we did the podcast with Coach Scott Fields, it was fun. We did it right on Super Bowl Sunday, but we were still talking basketball. And one thing is he was right. See, I live in Philadelphia, and the 76ers are number one seed in the playoffs with home field advantage. So I'm like, wow. I would never expected that to happen. But, my Brooklyn Nets, formerly New Jersey Nets, second ranked. So, but Sixers are getting ready to sweep Washington. If they win tonight, they sweep the first round of the playoffs and move on. So I am just waiting for a Sixers-Nets showdown in the Eastern Conference. I would love to see the Sixers-Nets Eastern Conference Finals. So that's my prediction. Okay. How right am I going to be? It all depends. But definitely, the Sixers-Nets, that would be an awesome series. Also, Lexi Swarm. I've gotten to know this young lady from this one website. She hosts a YouTube channel, and she has been studying to play the drums, and I wanted her to come on so we can chat about all that she wants to promote. There is another website called Clips for Sale, and I've had Shalene Kent Kiefer, who is recovering from a surgery. So Shalene, if you're watching this YouTube video, get well soon, or if you're listening to the podcast, get well soon, please. I'd love to have you on the podcast when you're getting ready to go back to filming. Vivian Irene Pierce, another great actress that I would love to have on the podcast. Madison Blue, Lorelai, Maria Dare, Ava. These are great actresses that do Wonder Woman cosplay. I'd love to have them on the podcast and talk about, promote whatever they want to promote, because I love to promote them. I love Wonder Woman. That I got both Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984 used, but got them as part of my little 50th birthday celebration I've been having since March, since I couldn't have a little party or a great, exciting celebration because I was sick still. Actually, I was starting to get better, but my 50th birthday really sucked. But it will get better. I will say that. Because in July, matter of fact, we are less than 8 weeks away. So 55 days from today, we will be in Vegas. And we are going to do a podcast in Vegas. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to do it on this StreamYard while doing the podcast. But definitely got to listen to the podcast, especially in July, because that podcast is going to be just awesome. I'm only there for a night. And, of course, you have those that's like, well, you should be there more than one night. It's my trip, folks. My trip. If I wanted one night, I want one night. I haven't been to Vegas in 21 years. So I'm going. And so look for that podcast in July. Definitely. End of July. Excuse me. So yesterday and over the weekend here in the Philadelphia metro area. It sucked. But I got a chance to go down to Atlantic City. That's another thing. End of the year podcast, for those that are watching this video for the first time, I do year-end podcasts from Atlantic City every year. I get a nice room at a casino in Atlantic City, and I do the year-end podcast. And I thank everybody like I do every time. And definitely, we chat about the year, So New Jersey, like I said, lifted their mask mandates and also the capacities. So, but I went to Atlantic City early in the morning. Don't use that secret I just said about the casinos going early in the morning. So I went to Atlantic City early yesterday morning. I mean, I left early. Because I love sunrises on the beach. It's just exciting thing to say. So I most definitely did that. But unfortunately, it rained. And it was gloomy. And the winds were really, they felt like they were about 20 miles an hour gusts. But it was crappy. But I enjoyed myself anyway because I got out of Philadelphia for a little bit. But it was worth it. So definitely check out anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo. So you can hear all the podcasts that were done. And this is episode number 54 or 55, I believe. So most definitely check it out. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. Subscribe to Life with Joey Calvo on YouTube. Also, please subscribe to Lloyd Lindsay Young's Hello America on YouTube. Also, Model Carol Alt has a YouTube channel as well as carolalt.com. Lexi Swarm has a Swarm TV here on YouTube. Check her out. Please subscribe. You definitely want to subscribe to Heather Fordham. She's another great reporter who is at Spectrum News in Raleigh, North Carolina. For those that are watching this YouTube video in Raleigh, check her out. Awesome. She's an awesome reporter. Jersey born and bred. KimberlyJKravitz.com. That's Kimberly Kravitz. She's great news reporter as well. Like I said, she's been a guest on the podcast. Another guest I'd love to have on, Kimberly Presser. She is the sideline reporter for the PBA bowling for Fox Sports. Beautiful young lady. You got to check out KimberlyPresser.com. She also has a YouTube channel here as well. So please, definitely, and I apologize for that sound that just came up. I thought I muted everything. Every time I do a podcast, something pops up. But definitely, Kimberly Presser has a YouTube channel on here as well. Definitely subscribe to that. Go to her website. I reached out to her as well. carolalt.com. And Carol and I do talk. Her reps did reach out to me and let me know that she got very busy, and I've seen it. I've seen it very well. So, Carol, if you're watching this video or listening to the podcast, whenever you get the opportunity to come back on. Let's talk about raw food. Teach me some more lessons. Because if you go to carolalt.com, She has got an interesting recipe. Now, you would think pancakes, make the batter, pour in the frying pan. How about dehydrating it? That's something I want to talk with Carol about. And you definitely got to check out carolalt.com on that. She's got a recipe for chocolate berry banana pancakes. And definitely, like I said, follow her on Instagram and YouTube as well. So I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I'm forgetting. Oh, Dina Rizzo. Yes. Again, check out healing.humanity.org. Check out her services. Check out the new line that she just is promoting right now. And I'm thinking others. I'm trying to remember. Coach Scott Fields, he has a YouTube channel as well as his podcast, the Coach Scott Fields Show. Get well soon again, my friend. Love to have you back on here as well when you're up and at it, so we can talk some more basketball. Hopefully, and believe it or not, he's an awesome guy. He was fun to chat with. Eric Essex, again, ericessex.net. So ERICESSIX.net. He also has a YouTube channel, so you can watch that video. Watch his music video for Late Night Drive. It will blow you away. I mean, there was that song is just so awesome. I play it, and I've told him, I mean, when we did the podcast, like I said, all I kept going about was Late Night Drive, how wonderful the song is, how great it was, and some dynamics to it, and trying to figure out what caused this part of the song, and we talked about the music video and the background to it. And you got to check that music video out because he is awesome. And I definitely want to see him when he comes to Philadelphia. I really, really do. When he comes in the Philadelphia area, I want to make sure I've got that near front row seat. I'm saying near, not front row. I'll take second or third row. I'll be happy with that. Hide myself a little bit. Definitely check out, like I said, Carol. I had to go back to her because when we did the podcast, we did a 2-part podcast. And at the time, she didn't. This story keeps coming back because it's just so funny. She promoted it on her Instagram. She was trying to get her viewers live on the Instagram, and I couldn't do the podcast and Instagram both at the same time. And it was like, So we wind up doing it by phone, but it worked out. It worked out wonderfully. It came out to a two-part podcast. But if you go on YouTube, not only subscribe to our channel, but definitely Google the show Thunder in Paradise. It was done in 1994, and she started it with Hulk Hogan. So definitely check her out. She's a great actress. Kathy Ireland, another guest I'd like to have on. KathyIreland.com. She's got multi-businesses. Another one. She's a great actress and supermodel as well. Kimberly Presser, I mentioned. Kimberly Kravitz, I mentioned. Stacey Veneman. She has a nutritional consultant business. You can follow her at Stacey Veneman on Instagram and get her info to subscribe to her nutritional counseling business, as well as Dina Rizzo, healing.humanity.org. And I keep trying to think if there's anybody else. And definitely, if you're on Amazon, you've got to buy the book by Sabrina Blocker Little and Katie Fellinger, katiefellinger.com. And she also has a YouTube as well, now doing DIY. Katie, if you're listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube, please come back on this podcast. Promote your stuff. I love doing it. I really do. VivianBound.com for Vivian Irene Pierce. Vivian, when you get that opportunity, please come on. Rebecca Marine and RebeccaMarine.com. Now, for those that don't know who Rebecca Marine is, she is considered the bionic model. She was born with a shorter limb in the right arm, I think it is. I'd have to double check. But follow her on Instagram at Rebecca Marine and on Twitter at Rebecca Marine. Definitely, when she gets the opportunity, and I know why she can't come on the podcast right now, and I can understand why, because her project right now is an adorable master. Very adorable master. That's her son. His name is Jackson. So definite shout out to her. But that's it. Philly is back and starting to get better. Definitely come out here. All the national attractions are starting to open up more. The Liberty Bell Pavilion, the National Constitution Center, of course, Independence Hall, Visitor Center, Philadelphia Zoo. There are a lot of attractions here in the Philadelphia area that are worth coming to. Battleship, New Jersey in Camden. The citypulse.com. That's Whitney Ullman. Whitney's another guest I'd love to have on here as well. Definitely check her out. For all activities that are going on the Jersey Shore, you've got to hit up Whitney for that. Nor'easternick.com. Nor'easter Nick Pittman, another awesome dude, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast. Love to have you on here. Let's talk weather and let's talk your career. I mean, he is one of the youngest meteorologists I know. I mean, very young. Okay. So definitely check out nor'easternick.com. Check out our website, lifewithjoeycalvo.blog. Check out the merchandise website, shop.spreadshirt.com/life-with-joey.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Life with Joey Calvo. Follow us on Instagram at Life with Joey Calvo. And definitely, most definitely, follow us on Twitter at Life Calvo. Thank you so much for this first podcast via StreamYard. Hopefully, we'll be able to do more of these. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday. May God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye now.